Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my beauty rehab, makeup rehab update for February, in which I go over everything I purchased makeup wise in January and everything I emptied makeup wise in January, and we talk about what that means in terms of the points that I have for bringing new items into my collection. This is a series heavily inspired, if not copied, off of Steph from It's Just Steph here on the YouTube platform. She has some pretty amazing, really creative content out there, and this is such a smart way to do a low buy, and I took inspiration from her and created my own little version of it here on my YouTube space, and I hope that that sounds like something you're interested in. There's a ton of people doing it out here on the platform, taking inspiration from Steph herself, and I will list some of them down in my description box, and I hope that you will go swing by, say hi, hello, who sent you, and watch their videos too. With that said, that sounds like something you're interested in. Please keep on watching. I have some exciting things that I'm hauling in today and some exciting empties that I'm emptying today. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high and colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a field leader for Ulta Beauty. I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here on this platform. But ultimately, I'm just out here talking about makeup because I love talking about makeup, and I'm assuming if you're here, you also love to talk about makeup. I'm a chatty channel, and I hope that you find that that brings solace to your soul in the way it brings solace to mine. Now that that's all said and done, let's just roll on into this makeup rehab because I'm excited about the things that I'm bringing in today. I am going to go ahead and link Steph's video down in the description box. I'll also link my intro video that I did last month in the description box, or up here in the card, so that you guys can go watch it. My suggestion is pause, go watch that, because it's not going to make a whole lot of sense to you if you don't go watch that video first. In essence, I told myself that I don't want to bring any more than 20 items that I am paying for out of pocket into my collection for the year of 2023. What that means is that for everything I'm spending money on, I lose a point, and for everything that I empty, I gain a point, so that there's some like give and take to this low buy, right? There are some sections or rules in regards to what doesn't count for me, and there are also no buy rules as well. Please go watch my intro video, because this video is not going to make much sense to you if you do not go watch my intro video. But with that said, I'm going to go into empties first. We're starting our bank this month with 20 points because that is what I have given myself for the year of 2023. Last year I had 35, and I ended up cutting my points in half last year and still ended up with 20 points at the end of the year. So we're just starting with 20 points this year, and let's go through some empties. So I did my beauty empties not that long ago, and there really wasn't anything in my empties bucket for the makeup category. However, I have since done my project pan, and there was quite a few empties in my project pan, and I also have 2 mascaras. So my mascaras I open up and I use them for 3 or 4 months before I toss them, sometimes 6, sometimes 8. Before I toss them. These have been open and in use for the last 6 months. I hate saying that, but they are really, really dry. This one is the Urban Decay Perversion. This is the bigger, blacker, bolder mascara. The wand is a natural bristle brush. It's not like the plasticky wand brushes. This isn't necessarily my favorite. However, this one was a lot better than this one in terms of the mascaras that I had open over the last several months. I do have multiple mascaras open at the same time because I like to layer my mascaras. I like to get a big bold lash if I can. Currently, I only have one mascara open, and you can see how like you can't even see my lashes, and that drives me nuts. I will probably be opening another one, but this one is the Pure On Point mascara, and this is a 4-in-1 mascara with hemp. I have to be honest, I think that this burned my eyes. My eyes always felt heavy and almost sleepy every time I wore this, which was weird, but it is also kind of a natural bristle brush. It's got kind of an hourglass shape, whereas the other one had kind of a tree shape. I didn't love this one because I do feel like it flaked and gave me raccoon eyes way too early. I usually don't have that problem until a mascara is kind of older for me, but this did it right away. So this just kind of sat honestly open for several months. It does seem like there's still product in there, but like I said, it has been open for 7 months. I'm not going to put it back on my eyelids. I always call mascaras at this point empty, regardless of what product is left in there. They have been open for far too long for me to put them on my eyes. So I have 2 mascaras, so that is plus 2 points. I have an eyeliner that I was able to finish up. This is, or that dried out. This is the Stila Stay All Day. This is one of her dual-ended liquid eyeliners, and on one end it has a micro tip with the shade Kitten Karma, and on the other one it has the original Intense Black shade and the original shape of the eyeliner. I would say that this still has, something in it, but you guys can see it's like barely anything. It doesn't show up on my eyes very well anymore. It skips. And I just find myself having to go over my lid space far too much. And you guys just watch me try and swatch this like 4 times, and that's what I'm getting out of it. It no longer has like the sparkly champagniness of Kitten to it, so it has been open for quite some time. I think since FLC last year, which was almost a year ago at this point, so it is gone. It is also very, very dried up. I also have this NARS Tinted Lip Balm in Laguna. This is completely empty. You guys can see the only thing that I did not do is dig the remnants out of here, but it is flat to the top. There's nothing else I can get out of it, and I can't make the time to dig that out. It was a beautiful balm though. Towards this part of the year, like I felt like it maybe was drying up my lips a little more than it had when I first rolled it in. I also feel like it was a little more warm than I felt like it was in the summertime when I started using it. And that might just be because I was a lot more tan in the summertime when I started using it, and that coral looks good and kind of pops right on my lips during the summertime when I'm a little bit more tan. So I didn't love it this last couple months, but it was something that was a purse gloss. I kept it in my purse. I used it all the time. It was with me in the car. And then I ended up setting it next to my desk area on the kitchen table for when I do my officing, and used it up in that way. This is the Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick in the shade Vanilla, and this was in my project pan since I think August last year, maybe even June last year. This is something that I received in gratis last year. I decided to put it into my project pan as an eye primer last year, and I got so close to being done with it that I just went ahead and rolled it in again this year. I talk a lot about it in that Project Pan video, so I'll link that up in the cards for you also. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I really did love the shadow stick as an eye primer. It held on to my eyeshadow forever. I felt like my eyeshadow lasted a very long time while using that. Then I have 2 primers also that I finished up through Project Pan. One is just a mini, but it did count in my inventory, so it does count as a point here. This is the Valentino V Lighter. This is a face base primer, moisturizing primer, illuminating primer, and this is probably a primer that I will be buying in full size because this is a sample that I received from Sephora as a gift with purchase, or a point perk, I think. And I loved this primer, so I will probably purchase that in a full size. And then I also finished up the No Problem Primer by Touch and Soul. This is a product that my mother gave me that she received in BoxyCharm, and honestly, I quite love this primer. It's a silicone primer, or silicone. It's for pore filling and smoothing, but I don't feel like it is as like slippery as a lot of silicone primers are, or pore filling primers are. It feels more like silk on the skin, which I loved, and I felt like I really could see a difference when using this product against something like, you know, Benefit Professional. I feel like that one is a little bit more putty-like, whereas this one feels a little bit more creamy and hydrating and silky, if that makes any sense. So I did have this in my project pan since last year as well, rolled it into the first several months of this year, finished up this primer, and then finished this one up right after that. So really happy to have those empties. I also have this in here because it is something that I'm emptying out of my project pan, but it's not something that is empty. And I mentioned this in the project pan because it is an Hourglass setting spray that I can no longer get to spray. Now, here's the thing. I had a comments ask me if I was going to empty this out and put it into a new bottle, which I 100% was going to do the first time I had an Hourglass setting spray do this to me. And you just can't get it apart. The top is, it just spins. It doesn't like screw off or anything like that. And it also doesn't like pull off. So if you have any kind of crazy secret as to how I can get this product out of here, this is still really full. I would love to get the product out of here. This isn't counting as an empty. It was emptied out of my project pan, and I just put it in here and forgot to just head it straight to the garbage can. I am going to hold on to it though, in case one of you has any kind of like words of wisdom to get that packaging apart. This is metal, so it's not like I can like, you know, dig in with a knife and cut the top of this either. So I would love to be able to use the product, but I just don't know how that would be possible. So with that said, I have 20 points that I started with, and I'm adding 7 points for the 7 makeup empties that I have this month. That's exciting. So 27 points is what I am going into the purchases that I made with. And we are going to go through the purchases now. I'm going to start, however, with the one item that I did get in gratis last month, and that is the Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax. This is their new product that came out right after Christmas. I do think that this was sent to me in December, but it was late December. I hadn't even touched it. I don't even think I had opened the box that it was sent to me in until early January. But this is it, and it looks very reminiscent to, do you guys remember the 3D brow tones that they used to have? I had the magenta one for the longest time. It's the same like component really, but it does say Fluff Up Brow Wax on it, and it is a wax, and it is very cool. It's white. You don't have to use a super lot of it. I usually will take it through my brows before I put a brow pencil to them. It's like a creamier version of, say, the ABH Brow Freeze is what I would say it is. I do think that this works really well. I still prefer just my 24-hour brow setter, but I do like this. There's a time and a place for it. I feel like the brow setter keeps my brows looking natural, feeling natural while keeping them in place. The wax, they're never gonna move. Never gonna move. So this is the one item of gratis that I had that came into my collection, and therefore it will not count against me. It's going into my inventory, but I didn't purchase it with my own money, so it isn't going to count against me. Then I have this, you guys. This is a box from Blend Bunny, and I am so excited because it's a brand I haven't tried, and I've been eyeballing quite a few things from them. Quite a few palettes from them, I should say, and I did go ahead and pick up 3 different palettes. I have the Blend Bunny Lure palette. This is what it looks like on the outside. The packaging is beautiful and kind of glittery, but the glittery doesn't come off on your hand. The palette looks the same as the box. The inside looks like this. Isn't that beautiful? The one thing that I can say is I think that these were kind of more on the expensive side and they don't have a mirror, but I do believe that this is totally worth it. This color story is beautiful to me. What I love about it is the gradient, and each row can be its own separate eye look. These are all shimmers up top and the rest are all mattes. I love that it goes from pretty pastel clear down to really, really deep. And all of their palettes are kind of like that. So I did get the Lure palette from Blend Bunny. I also got the Dollhouse palette. The Dollhouse palette is a little bit more of an interesting color story, and their newest one looks a lot like this one, but not. So I went with this one because I like the color story in this one a little bit better. The variety, I should say, a little bit better. This one is also pretty spendy, but it does have a mirror on it. So there's that. This is what the front of that palette looks like. And the inside looks like this. Again, it's just got beautiful shades to it. A nice gradient from, you know, light to, or shimmer to deep. The only difference is that this palette, the bottom row and the top row are both shimmers. And then all the shades in the middle are your gradient matte shades. What's interesting about this palette too is that this row here looks like it could be like 6 blacks almost across the bottom, but it's just really, really deep shades within that same family of shades. Really, really pretty, very beautiful. I can't wait to use it. This one kind of has that grunge feel to it with a pop of blue. That blue up at the top kind of threw me off, but it's beautiful. So I cannot wait. I've seen so many people, so many YouTubers reviewing these palettes, and man, some of the eye looks that they come up with. One of these will probably be my next palette roulette palette. Then the last one I picked up was Surge, and Surge drew my attention because, as you guys know, I am a color queen, and this one also does not have a mirror. This one looks like this. Isn't that pretty? I cannot with these palettes. They're so beautiful. And what I like best about this one is this row here is the row of shimmers. You have your gradients here, and then you've got this like quite vibrant, vivid color story here down at the bottom. It's interesting to me that this is showing up quite muted in the screen as compared to what I'm seeing in real life. Like, this is almost a fluorescent yellow. Let me see if I can deepen this a little bit. Maybe that'll show up better. Yes, that shows up much better. So that's it on the deeper spectrum. You can see that these are actually still quite muted in the screen, but very, very vibrant compared to the rest. So you have your gradient here, your shimmers here, and then your vibrant, like, clown colors right there. Really, really love also the look of this palette. I'm working with natural light. Yes, I turned down the light, but what I really did was closed off some of the ability for the camera lens to capture light, which I think is showing up a little more true to tone, just a little though. So if you guys had your choice, which one would you want me to do in my palette roulette series next? Because I will work with any one of these. I cannot wait to get them on my face. So there's that. Okay, so I started the beauty bank this month with 20 points and I emptied 7 items. So that brought our beauty bank up to 27 points, and then I purchased 3 items. So that brings our beauty bank down to 24 points, but 24 points is still more points than what we started with. So I'm really super excited about the points in the system because Natasha is coming to Ulta and all the things that I want to purchase. There's that. There's an Odin's Eye collab coming out on the 14th. You guys, I am purchasing that. If I can get my grubby hands on it, I am purchasing that. I haven't purchased anything from Odin's Eye. I want to try Odin's Eye. I will be purchasing that. So that'll be 3 more items. So there's that. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you all have words of wisdom to give me about what you think about the items that I emptied, what you think about the items that I brought into my collection. Please do hit me up down in the comment section and tell me which of these palettes you would like to see first in my palette roulette videos, or if you know what palettes I have in my collection which you'd like to see, and I will be sure to take that into consideration. I want to use any one of them. I want to get them on my face, so I would be happy to use any one of them. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Do hit me up down in the comment section. I love to have little conversations down there. I love to hear from you guys. I love to chat back and forth. So there's that. Thank you guys again so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well, that you're healthy, that you're safe, that you're getting along as best you can in this world that we're living in. I hope that you are all loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye friends.